Hello, everyone. This is not an ear test. The sound piece that you just heard is by saxophonist Seymour Wright. The first time I heard him play at Auto Cafe London, my ears had to take in the unfamiliar frequency and high-pitched sounds of the saxophone. It took me twice the time of the piece's duration to realize what I had heard. I was basically put in a situation of listening again. I use music as an example as it has a rationale of abstraction, similar to how I would like to approach the Arabic letters and their specific system of writing. In this presentation, I will mainly focus on the process and methodology that I have used in my work so far, briefly talking about the inspiration behind my work. Among different things, experiences, encounters, it's perhaps mostly my relation to art. Showcased here are a few manuscripts out of so many that constantly travel with me in my process. There are many elements that help shape the aesthetic language we see in these manuscripts in terms of form, proportions, and layout. Their production from the 7th century and onwards was shaped by a specific context, the means and resources available, the technological advancements, and artistic and cultural inspiration of the time. If these works were the culmination of specific time and place, what can be produced today to reposition the Arabic letters with their inherited aesthetics within a contemporary context? One must surely possess a close understanding of the context, its local attributes, and the particularity of the events in relation to time and space to rethink the written expression of these letters and words. How can we take the time to read and read again, to perceive and reinterpret the significance of the visual writings amidst the overwhelming visual stimulation we live today? To what extent can these letters or words be emptied of their constructed meaning? And to what extent should their readability be challenged? And how can they be read visually? Another point or question that comes to my mind: how can we involve the viewer, reader, and audience in this process of interpretation and creation, in finding new ways not only in writing, but reading as well, demanding an effort and work from both sides? The first works I did relied on handwritten attempts that did not necessarily break away or challenge existing calligraphic works. It also made me realize I'm not a calligrapher. Writing and designing using the same script or style of the Abbasid era seem unconvincing and out of place. From these early attempts, I will present this project only, initiating a transition towards more abstract and geometric letter forms. The project is a CD album for Asil Ensemble, delving into Arabic contemporary classical music. The music and title were inspired by Ala Abdel Fattah's essay, Autism. It was interesting for me to encounter this work, especially considering the ensemble's exploration of the contemporary aspect of Arab classical music, which resonates with the approach I adopted in the project in incorporating controlled distortions and structured discords. The shift to a digital medium enabled greater precision and accuracy, widening the possibilities for composition. With this transition to digitized letter form, the designer must also exercise precision, playing an active role in directing this technological tool in their search for new visual harmonies without falling into commodity. Similarly, when contemplating self-generated or coded images, one needs to recognize or posit the designer's or artist's position before submitting to the algorithmic realm of limitless possibilities. In this series of posters created in 2016 for different music events and concerts at Mizyam, I attempted to build upon existing writing scripts. While the letters derive from their geometry and form, they undergo further abstraction and are occasionally reduced to their fundamental forms, such as dots, lines, circles, squares, and triangles. This is a poster that I developed for Jazz Inc., an exhibition created by Yara Khouri and Khajak Appelion. An invitation to create posters based on titles of different jazz pieces with Arabic letters. Written here in Arabic, محاولة إلقاء اللوم علي is a translation of the title trying to put the blame on me by Sanra. The composition is the outcome of iterative shifts in overlaying process intentionally concealing, obliterating, decomposing. It invites the viewer to rhythmically recompose the piece while engaging with a new harmonic structure during reading. During this process of continuous revision, readability was repeatedly lost. I had to go back and consider to what extent the meaning of the words should be retained, or if the meaning could simply be the visual expression of these letters and words unfolding through their compositions. Here are some of the iterations that led to the final poster. This is a poster for a lecture by Fadel Rubai, questioning the significant influence that Orientalist theological theories had in the manufacturing of identities, fabricated narratives, and in shaping the course of history. Here, I start with a written title that undergoes various actions: layering, merging, subtracting, underlying a tension between what remains of the printed letters and what is discerned through the removal. For these following works, I begin with a set of letters that I develop based on a relevant grid and structure. The letters here act as units to compose multiple visuals, each time subjecting them to different relative gestures and actions. This is a series of book covers designed for the Institute for Palestine Studies. The available research material and the little interference helped in building a coherent process. I'll be discussing some of the covers in the coming slides. The book, Safuriye, The Will and the Hope, transcribes and documents the historical and cultural Palestinian identity of the village Safuriye, which is no longer visible on the map. now replaced entirely by trees, with settlement gradually expanding on the outskirts. When designing the cover, I based my letter system on the Palestinian knitting unit, Tatriz, subjecting them to a series of stitching and unstitching. This also allows for the reading to happen from top to bottom and vice versa. A close-up of how the stitched letters were worked. Here is another book examining the transformation of the Palestinian society since 1948. You can see a transition from a specific typeset to a more elaborate complex visual by undergoing a process of erasure. What elements of the letters are crucial to keep, ensuring that when reassembled, the text remains readable? The process here is similar to a book about Reza Strip. Using the same type developed, I also worked on different posters and iteration, proposing numerous possibilities and visuals. The same letter set readapted in more recent visuals concerning the situation in Gaza. Here is another example that uses the same letterings in relation to a different book. The question is, what action can be made to the same set of letters to direct them towards a distinct reading and visual interpretation? Another project I would like to discuss is a series of posters celebrating the 100th anniversary of Marx through talks and lectures. I designed a set of letters with the knowledge that each panel and event will have a different title and complemented each time with a different bitmap image. The letters were based on square modularity, highlighting their uniformity and emphasizing a bold and blocky aesthetic, with some parts extending diagonally, and were then kept as outlines, allowing for a simultaneous reading of text and image. This last project is the visual identity and book designs created for Barzakh, bookstore and cafe. The word itself means the thin space or line of encounter between two spaces. The space acts as a venue for different cultural and artistic events, as well as a publishing house that is concerned with a specific content. A series of Arabic lettering with its specific relative system was developed. These letters can be perceived as scores or graphic marks to be used for different compositions or forms of visual writing, making space for fluid identity and a multitude of visual possibilities. Here are some of the works produced for Barzakh that builds on the same type. The books vary between novels, letters, essays, proses, and poems. These are two book covers for the same volume. The first book is an Arabic translation of Frantz Fanon's The Wretch of the Earth, and the second, a compilation of relative essays on deconstructing neocolonialism. This is a collaboration between Ma'azif and Barzakh in the form of a magazine series. The first on the moment of Tarab, and the second on mistakes in the official narrative. Each issue compiles different essays from Ma'azif's online platform related to specific music topic. Here are some examples and details of covers and inner spreads for the first two issues. And to end with a selection of Barzakh's event visuals. Thank you.